Welcome to a new edition of Nerd Portal, where we suck you into the world of pop culture and current events. I'm Cierra.
I'm Alex Thompson.
And we are here at Freaks and Geeks in Denton, Texas, where they still have 50% off all comics. You better get them before they're gone.
Before I buy them all.
Alex will buy them all.
But in other news, for all you non-twinkling 80s vampire lovers out there, Lost Boys is getting a sequel directly following where the movie left off. But the only thing is, it won't be on the big screen, but in the panels of a comic. Written by Hack Slash creator Tim Seeley, with art by Scott Godlewski and Patricia Mulvihill, and covers from Tony Harris, the series will debut digitally and in comic stores through publisher DC Vertigo Comics on the 12th of October. Now, don't worry. All your favorite characters are returning as we journey back to sunny Santa Clara, California. The only thing that is different is Max isn't the one to worry about anymore.
I'm excited to see this comic, especially since Hack Slash Tim Seeley's part of it.
I know, right? It seems like it might be a little bit gruesome, maybe a little bloody.
I love Hack Slash, so I have a good feeling about this.
Very cool.
Stranger Things, a new Netflix original series, is finally released and is gaining a lot of positive reviews. Stranger Things is a science fiction psychological horror following the story of Joyce, played by Winona Ryder, whose son Will mysteriously disappears. Soon, a mysterious girl with strange abilities appears, along with something much darker. The show is set in the 1980s and recalls the style of a lot of 80s horror films. You can check out the show on Netflix now, which means...
Something that I'm going to add to my list, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my long list.
I'm excited to see how they're going to kind of bring back the 80s sort of style of horror. So
lots of practical effects, I hope?
Yes, I really hope there's practical effects.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Plus, I love Winona Ryder, so we'll see.
It should be good. Remember, guys, to just keep swimming. Also, know that the hit sequel to Finding Nemo, known as Finding Dory, has just blown a record out of the water by becoming the highest-grossing domestic box office animated movie of all time. With $445.5 million in revenue, it surpassed former record holder Shrek 2 with ease. Be careful, Dark Knight, because if things keep going the way they are, then we may have a dethroning happening soon with the number 10 overall global spot.
That will be surprising to see Finding Dory completely dethrone Dark Knight.
Yeah, I know, who would have thought? But I mean, I also heard that it hasn't released in some parts of Europe, like Germany and stuff, so there's a lot of money to be made still.
Once it's released in those countries, we'll see how fast those numbers start to go up.
Exactly.
An official photo of Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise has finally been released. The photo seems rather faithful to the original Pennywise aesthetic, however, there is a lack of the famous red clown nose. They have added red makeup and have definitely given Pennywise a more contemporary look, while still remaining faithful. Whether Pennywise will have the sharp teeth is still up for debate, though I will say he still has his terrifying yellow eyes. The film is said to focus primarily on the main characters when they were children. If the film does become successful, the sequel is rumored to focus on them as adults. There are other changes from the book, including the timeline, which will now be set in the 80s instead of the 50s. It will be exciting to see what other changes the new It takes. It will be released September 8th, 2017.
Now, I'm sorry, but I was not into the new Image. I wanted the scary teeth. It really wasn't that intimidating.
No.
It kind of looked like, one of those movie covers that you would find in like the $5 bin at Walmart.
That's what I thought of. Like, I'm glad they kept a couple of the things from the original Pennywise, but I just don't feel like he looks as unsettling or, as creepy as Tim Curry's Pennywise.
Yeah, right? Bring me back Rocky Horror, please.
Yes, please. But we'll see what Bill Skarsgård can bring. I mean, I feel like we're kind of speaking too soon. Maybe he'll surprise us.
Maybe. WWE conducted their draft last Tuesday, splitting the superstars between the two major brands, SmackDown and Raw. With Daniel Bryan running SmackDown and Mick Foley running Raw, some interesting decisions were made. First round draft picks included the likes of Dean Ambrose to SmackDown and Seth Rollins to Raw. We also saw some toss-ups with Randy Orton, John Cena, and AJ Styles going to SmackDown. Raw does seem to have the stacked roster though, with Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, New Day, and more. The decision for Raw's roster seems to make more sense when you realize that it is still a 3-hour show, while SmackDown will only last 2 hours. Stay tuned for more WWE news as things roll out into SummerSlam.
That's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm already excited, you know, for everything that's going on, that's happened between the Shield now, and now we're going to see Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and Brock Lesnar's already coming off the big win at UFC and everything.
It's going to be quite the fight.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to say the least.
Marilyn Manson has finally announced his new album, Say 10, not Satan. It will be released Valentine's Day 2017. The announcement was made at this year's APMAs, where he was awarded the Icon Award, which is a huge honor. Say 10 will be his 10th studio album, following his 2015 album, The Pale Emperor. Manson is also on tour this year with Slipknot and Of Mice and Men. You can check out his tour dates at MarilynManson.com.
So, I want to say, you know, Marilyn Manson is basically like our generation's Alice Cooper, if you would say. But with the group lineup, it's like Marilyn Manson, okay. Slipknot makes sense. Of Mice and Men?
Yeah, they do seem like a little bit kind of out of character, or like kind of they stand out amongst the lineup, but I really feel like Of Mice and Men really have taken on a darker look and aesthetic and sound, and I feel like they'll be able to really carry their own.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens, right?
And also, remember, the tour was set back due to Slipknot singer's injury.
Right.
So the dates have changed. So if you've already bought a ticket or you're planning to buy a ticket, please check with your ticket
retailer.
Yeah. Check with the ticket retailer and make sure everything's in line.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for tuning in to another edition of Nerd Portal, where we bring those headlines for your nerdy minds. Also, check out PopNerdTV.com for all other great content and news we have to offer. This has been Alex Thompson.
And I'm Cierra Caballero.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys.